This computer. All right, everybody. Welcome to our Diamond Leaders Gold and Above training just for you guys. Myself, Stephanie Murray, Sapphire Ambassador, Amber Hargett, Emerald Ambassador, and Erin Bush, Sapphire Ambassador. We are all here tonight to share with you some quick training. We're going to try to keep it kind of shorter than usual. So short but sweet, awesome, good information. And I am going to kick it off and then I'll hand it over to Erin and Erin to Amber. So tonight we really want to kind of share, almost really share from a personal space where we've all kind of come to in our journey. And I think all three of us agree that you know, over the last year of kind of struggle and hardship, and then within the last couple of months, we've all come to realize, you know what, we just need to focus back on the basics. What was I doing when I grew my business? And I need to get back to that and focus on growing my business instead of getting distracted in management mode. So that's kind of the topic that we're going to cover tonight. So I want to just share with you a few little nuggets. So management mode, when I say management mode, what I'm talking about is getting caught up in running your team page, because that can suck a whole lot of time and it's not income producing. Yes, you need to support your team, but spending most of your time trying to figure out what to post on your team page or keeping an eye on Facebook like a hawk, waiting for the next best information so that you can pull it and put it on your team page, or, you know, waiting for that on your phone so that you can check your email that came from Plexus and put it on your team page. That is a waste of your time and your energy, and it's basically a distraction. And, you know, some of this might apply to you where you're at, some of it might not, but I personally believe if I could go back in time, I wish that I would have really suggested that people not start a team page until they're probably Ruby or above, and maybe even further along, because before that, it really sucks your time away from what you need to be doing, which is working your own business, putting your leads before your leaders, and working, you know, your personal contacts to continue to sponsor and continue to gain new customers, because that's what it's all about. So if you woke up tomorrow and your entire team quit on you, what are you going to do? You have to be really self-reliant and be able to continue to grow your team from the top, because you all know the compensation plan and you all know that we get paid the most on levels 1, 2, and 3. So, you know, you can't get to gold or senior gold or sapphire and sit back and say, okay, I'm going to wait and I'm just going to rely on my level ones to sponsor level 2s and my 2s to sponsor 3s and just coast on that, because it doesn't work. Eventually the well runs dry if you're not feeding it. So there's a great quote that I heard on a Craig Rochelle podcast, and he said, you can have growth or you can have control, but you cannot have both. So if you're getting sucked into what my level 1s are doing and what my level 2s are doing, and are they doing it right, and who are they sponsoring today, and what are their goals, because I want them to be sponsoring people, instead of getting sucked into all that, that's control, that's micromanaging, and that's management mode. So you have to step back from that and realize that you can have growth, which depends on you, or you can have control, but you cannot have both. And growth starts with you. So you guys, some of you have been around long enough, you've probably heard me say it before, but as leaders, we have to lead from the front. A manager says, go do this, or look at this great challenge that so-and-so is doing, or make sure that you're reaching out to 5 people a day. A leader is doing that and letting their actions speak for themselves. So I want to ask you to ask yourself, and be honest, and you don't have to give me a head nod, and you don't even have to answer right now, but I want you to take some time tonight to really think about, am I doing what I need to do to grow my personal business? And that can't shift to, well, okay, but what about my level 1? Because I do like probably 6 to 8 coaching calls a week, and oftentimes when I ask people about their goals, it starts with, well, you know, they might say one little thing about what they want to do, but then they tell me all about what they want their team to do. And, you know, well, when my team sponsors, you know, if my team sponsors this many people, then that would keep me on track. And yes, it is a team sport. You know, we don't get anywhere without our teams, but if you want your team to be doing anything, you have to be doing it first. And John Maxwell talks about your team will duplicate 100% of what you do wrong and only 50% of what you do right. So you better be doing a whole lot really, really right if you want to get anywhere in your, growing your teams and in your leadership. So that's my short little spiel for today. Lead from the front. Really take the time to do some self-evaluation and ask yourself, am I doing what I need to do every day to grow my personal business, putting my leads before my leaders? So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Erin.
Well, that kind of ties into part of what I'm going to be talking about as well. And I have poor connection, so if I leave, I'll be back. But hopefully that won't happen. So tonight, I kind of want to talk to you guys about slumps and how that can affect your team and when you see it happening on your team and what to do about it. There's a natural ebb and flow with any kind of business whatsoever. I mean, you think about your local department store and how there really is a natural movement towards when you go shopping in October compared to shopping in November. There's a huge difference, right? And then seasonally as well. The first hot weekend, everybody is shopping. So, June or so, you might have a bunch of shoppers, but in May, you may not. So it's that our teams and our momentum does have a natural ebb and flow to it. That just makes sense. But it also means with network marketing, if you want to keep up momentum and the leads for the leaders and you continue to grow your business, you have to your momentum and your work during those slumps. And there also comes a point too where there is this season of massive seed planting, and then there's a season of harvest. So, and it's not just seed, there's also that season in there where you're watering. So that's the follow-up and getting people off the fence and so on. But I want to talk a little bit about a few things you can do with your team and yourself to get yourself out of a slump. First of all, and I think it is honestly, the second most important. I don't know why I don't have these in order of importance. So you know what? We'll go third first. Least important or least effective, I think, are team contests. And I wouldn't do like whoever adds the most ambassadors and things like that. You do very easy steps for people to accomplish and give away something small. Something that's fun, something that a lot of people might even win. Maybe you give away several different keychains or something like that for posting every day for a week or something like that. Something easy and fun that people are constantly commenting on and get that team excitement on your page or on that contest. Watching a video, that kind of giveaway, that type of thing. Competition between teams. That can be fun as well. If somebody wants to partner up with somebody, you guys can choose partners and partner up for a contest. But the second what that kind of moves into, I think the second most important would be building community on your team. When the going gets rough and the ebb gets low, people stick around because of community. Now that can be really tough for somebody who's far away and the majority of the team is in one area or something like that. But I mean, I had that, and I have felt very close to the community because I was on live trainings every week. That was how I stayed plugged in. That was how I continued momentum. And then, of course, grew was because I was plugged into the community that I had with the team growing in California, both my upline and my downline, by being plugged in. So you guys, you've got to be in front of your team. If you're gold, that's different. If you're senior gold ruby, it's time to step up and start really leading. But even at gold, you can encourage your people to be a part of the live trainings. Live is completely different than watching it later. Watching it later means you're distracted, you're not listening as closely, and you are not plugged in and seeing other people. I'm watching to see who's taking notes, who's making eye contact with the computer and so on. There is a connection here despite the fact that it is online. Okay. So community. You could do online prayer once a month. You could do an online party, do some like wine and getting together and talking about your successes for the week. Something in the morning with coffee with your team as a group, have a little like chat and coffee date on a Saturday morning early before the whole weekend starts. Team dinner. You could do individual team Zooms. If your teams are really growing, you could take 3 to 4 people on one team and do a Zoom with just them, building vision and encouragement, troubleshooting, questions and answers, things like that. Doing a vision board party, I think that kind of thing is fantastic. Doing a why, like sitting down with 3 or 4 people on a Zoom and talking about what is your why, what is it that is pushing you. Okay, but the most important thing for the natural to really help calm that ebb and flow and to make it not so deep and high. Well, you like the high, but not so deep, right? Natural ebb and flow of momentum on a team. And this is the most important, and this is how it ties in with Stephanie's. It is personal sponsorship. When your team sees you personally sponsoring and adding people to your team page, it develops an excitement that is contagious. So that excitement, I love the question, if your team did today and tomorrow what you have been doing, and the next day and the next day, would your team grow? So, always having that self-improvement and doing it yourself. So then let's talk about personal slump, although Amber's going to get into that a little bit. I'm just going to cover a couple of things with your own personal slump. We all have these too. I mean, this is just a part of owning a business, guys. It doesn't matter if you own a cupcake business down the street or a clothing boutique. You are going to have slumps in your business. You're going to have people that come in and say, no, thank you. You're going to have people that look at something and put it back on the rack. So that's just normal. But so how do you keep yourself from having those discouraging times? Well, first of all, it's almost impossible to not at least have some emotion of discouragement. So you got to forgive yourself for that. But secondly, it is completely and utterly up to you to change that perspective. So because I'm about to have this dental procedure that everybody freaks out about, I did a little online looking, probably a mistake, but I came across a thread of somebody saying, give me good examples of wisdom tooth removal, good experiences. And this one gal said that she and her college roommates were all going to get their wisdom teeth removed at the same time. And the first girl went in, and she was absolutely terrified. She was sure it was going to be horrible. She was sure it was going to just hurt like heck. And she went first. Well, the second girl, her second friend, said, you know what? I don't think that's the case. This is easy peasy, and I bet it's going to be fine. And I bet I'll be able to eat tomorrow. And she went in and had her surgery done. So then the third girl was sitting there going, well, I think I'm going to take the perspective of my second friend and go in. She said the first friend took twice as long to heal before she could have any normal food than herself and her second friend who had the positive attitude. So mindset really has everything to do with your perspective. Even biologically, physiologically, you have a physical response to whatever is going on in your head. So change what's in your head. Listen to Les Brown. Listen to whatever inspiration you need to get. If you need to be pumped up about how great you are, Les Brown is a great person to listen to for that. And then, of course, action. Action solves absolutely. And we say this over and over. It is really true. You know what? When I find myself in a slump, that's when I get in front of my team. That's when I talk. Oh, Stephanie says I've got to read this, they've done blood tests on people after they've listened to motivational speakers and their labs actually changed. That's fascinating. I believe it. But being in action, finding new ways to reach new people, pushing outside your comfort zone. Do you know the adrenaline rush that happens when you push outside your comfort zone, on those endorphins that go nuts because you're doing something outside your comfort zone. And there's a real sense of accomplishment, even if you don't have a success, like a new ambassador or a new customer with that pushing outside your comfort zone, you do have that success and sense of accomplishment for having actually gone outside your comfort zone. So I really believe that doing that in particular, making yourself do that, is one of the most effective ways to get yourself out of a slump. Even if you don't see the results of those plantings or pushing outside of your comfort zone till months later, you have done something amazing for your business. And guys, in the end, it really comes down to sponsoring people. It comes down to you have to sponsor a lot of people. And this is why. I've been doing this for a little over 2 years, and I look at the number of level ones that I've sponsored and the number of level ones that are actually working the business and working hard. Like, they see the vision, they have the work ethic, and they are all in. The people who I know that 20 years from now will still be with me is really small. And that is because not everybody has the fortitude and the care. No, I don't want to say that. The fortitude, that's really what it comes down to push through the hard times. And that's one of the interesting things about a brick and mortar, because you put up a brick and mortar, that's a solid sign you are all in. With network marketing, we don't have that kind of solid sign. So you personally have to be the brick and mortar. Your body, your soul, your mind, your spirit, your determination, your fortitude, your consistency, I'm going to get to the top of this mountain or die trying. That's your brick and mortar. It has to be you. You're the brick and mortar, guys. So, and brick doesn't go anywhere unless there's a tornado, which is why I have a thing in my garage that I go into sometimes. But seriously, that's really what it does come down to. Now, you should not be discouraged if you are not signing level ones constantly, but you need to be evaluating yourself. When's the last time you added Facebook friends? When's the last time you added 5 Facebook friends? When's the last time that you went to the moms group that gets together on Saturdays and walks? When's the last time that you joined a small group at church? When's the last time you worked on your relationships? I'm with a new school this year, and I've gone to every single event that I think I have missed one. And we have events constantly with this group. And the point is, and it's not just to find my next rock star or something like that, but this business works because of relationships. So if you don't have them, you don't have the opportunity to see if there's somebody out there who wants this as badly as you do. Okay, I'm all done. Amber, your turn. The awesome Amber.
If she could unmute herself. Okay, hello. Oh, I love that. It ties right in with, and I love that you said you don't always see the fruit. I actually, in November, had this crazy idea that I was going to talk. I was going to reach out to 60 new people a day, is what I said. Can you guys hear me okay? Is it like way behind? It looks weird to me, but oh well. Okay. 60 new people a day. So day 1, reached out to 60 new people. Day 2, reached out to 60 new people. Then day 3, I changed it. Okay, 25 people a day. So for a few more days, 25 people, 25. I made it maybe a couple weeks with this goal. But 2 of those people just signed this month. So 2 of those people that I did that crazy activity for, 2 signed last month and 3 signed in December. So it is continually that one-time activity with following up with them is paying over again and again. And I'm still building relationships with a lot of them. So it's definitely activity. So I personally get into these personal funks with this business. And I'm sure I'm not alone, but I will hit a funk. My first year, somebody criticized me And so I just shut down for like months. I was like, forget, you don't think I'm a good leader? Forget it. I'm not going to do one thing for any of you. I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to work my business. Like, I just ridiculous. So I got in a slump my first year. I got in a slump my second year, and that's what caused that activity in November. I was like, I got to get out of this. And so I just want to tell you guys what I do when I get in these funks. And I think it is human. You are putting in all this effort, and maybe you don't see what you want to see or the results that you want to see. So you tend to want to give up or just step back. So the first thing that I do when I get into these slumps, or I always call them I'm in a funk, is I build my belief in this company, and I build my belief in network marketing. And I don't have to go out and I don't have to make it up. I just start thinking, and I do that with God a lot, because sometimes I still have those doubts. Here I'm a pastor's wife, and I still have these doubts of like, is this really, like, is this all made up? Like, is this true? And so I go back to the basics, like, okay, how did this world get here? Am I going to believe all this nonsense out there? Same thing with my business. I go back to the basics. I look at network marketing. And I remember when I first started, I heard a quote that they said, choose a dream life instead of a dream job. And at the time, I loved that, because I was thinking I was giving up this great job and humbling myself into network marketing. But now I just don't quite identify with that quote anymore, because I really do think that this is a dream job. And I'm going to give you a few reasons that I've been looking at. Anytime I start feeling like, a little bit of doubt, or I feel like maybe I want to give up, or I'm not advancing, I look back at the basics of network marketing, and Plexus in particular. So number one, it gives me freedom and flexibility. So I showed a picture on Facebook today of Mark, was like, his head was like literally on my shoulder while I was trying to work. Like, I was trying to get ready for this meeting, and I literally had like Mark's head on my shoulder, like, what are you doing? Don't you want to hang out? Like, I have to go. So that's nice. So it was annoying me, but honestly, before Plexus, I never saw him. Like, I never saw this man. I would work until 3:30. We would meet in a parking lot, and he would go to work and work until midnight. And so the fact that I have been able to come home and he can bug me all day long is an absolute miracle. So it gives me flexibility. It gives me freedom. I have been able to do things that I've never been able to do before. So I love how Autumn always says, treat this as a job. She always tells me, this is a job. Like, treat this as a job. And so I think we can get into a danger of being too flexible, having too much freedom, to where, Plexus can get put on the back burner. Plexus can either it's going to take over your life, or you're going to neglect it. So we have to really find a good balance of working our business when we say we're going to work it, and being with our family and being in front of them when we say we're going to be in front of them. So the fact that our job gives us that, and even if you're working full time still, like, you guys have that hope. And also, you have a part-time job that is flexible, and you have a part-time job that is giving you freedom. And so a lot of people have to pick up that extra night shift, or, I was a waitress for 12 years. And so those hours are grueling. So the fact that you can work a couple hours a day and bring in this kind of money that we're making is complete freedom. And then the next one is I look at the financial opportunity. And I know that can sound like, oh, you're Emerald and you're Sapphires. So you have that financial opportunity. But I always say that it was when I was making $300 a month that this company changed my life, because that is when we stopped going further and further and further into debt. And so this financial opportunity, if you can work 3 to 5 years on this company like it's a job, like it's a priority, then you can make up for 30 to 50 years in the work field. So I'm planning, like, I'm still in that year, going into my year 3, done with my year 2. And I'm still planning, like, I'm working hard to 3 to 5 years. And I know I'm going to work after that, but I'm not coasting by any means or anything like that, because I'm going to work hard these 3 to 5 years so that I can reach a position to where it's like I've been working 30 to 50 years, and I'm going to be able to retire my husband. I'm going to be able to set my kids up in their financial future. So the fact that we have this opportunity to make this kind of money, and if you guys want to get to that emerald, to that sapphire, to that diamond, you can do it. There is nothing that is holding you back except for you. And so you have to look at yourself and think, okay, what can I do? And so that brings me to the next point. Oh no, we got a few more. In this company, fun and friendship. I loved my last job, and they were great people, but we did not have the fun. You can't have the fun and the friendships like we do here. Like, my best friends are the people on my team now. And me and Kathy are going to Sizzler on Thursday. And I just had lunch with Don last week. And I'm going to be, driving to opportunity meetings this week. And we're going to go to convention and party and all. Too loud of music, for my opinion. I'm old. I would just like to have a quiet party at convention. I'm going to put that out there. But we have so much fun at convention, and Stephanie will be in the middle dancing. And so the fun that we have in this company is like no other out there. And then a hard one that is really good is the personal growth that happens in this kind of business. I was, a waitress. You do grow as a waitress, like basically just biting your lip and then like cursing in your head at other people. But as a teller, so all these jobs that I have never had to work on myself as much as I have in this company. So, I mean, you think that might sound like a negative, like, no, I mean, I am honestly a better person because I am a Plexus ambassador. People, and I think God had set it up for me as well, because starting this church, I get a lot of criticism. Now I'm singing on stage. Boy, do I get criticism. Everybody has an opinion. And I don't think I could have handled that a few years ago. I think I would have absolutely just like flipped everybody off on stage and left the church altogether. But because of Plexus, like, I am a stronger person. I can take criticism. I can listen to other people's opinions. I can work with different kinds of people that might not be like exactly like me. So I think that's a huge, huge plus in this company. Okay, and so like I was saying earlier, the first thing was my belief. I really work on my belief. And then the next thing I do is I blame myself. And that might sound negative, but for me it's a positive, because if I'm in a slump or I'm in a funk, I blame myself. I don't blame my downline. I don't blame my outside legs. I don't blame my upline. I only blame myself, but in a positive way, as in, okay, Amber, what are you doing that is not getting the results? Yes, 100% responsibility, exactly. So I was thinking about how we are the CEO of our business. We always say that. We always say that we're the CEO. And then I was thinking, if a real CEO, if Dave Mish at my bank acted the way I did sometimes as the CEO of my company, he would never make it anywhere. Like if someone was, something didn't go his way and Dave Mish was just like, I'm not working for a week. That's it. Like that I'm not going to work for a week. I'm not going to do my reports for a week. I'm not going to, do all this work that's expected of him. Like, none of these CEOs would be worth anything. And so I just think about that on myself. Like, I am the CEO of my business. My paycheck says Amber Hargett. Actually, now it says Harcourt, which is a terrible name. Sounds like so dirty, but anyway, so it has my name on it, and it doesn't have Aaron's name, it doesn't have Pat's name, like, it has Amber Hargett, and I am 100% responsible for my business. So what am I doing to make sure that my business that I'm responsible for is thriving and not getting in these slumps? It's just like Aaron and Stephanie said. It is, well, I wanted to stay with all B's. So we got belief, we got blame, and we have boldness. Okay, so boldness, in short, is your IPA. You have got to every day I say 5 days a week. Take Tuesdays off. If you want to work all 7, that's fine. But your IPA every day, what if that looks like, so I came across this quote that says, 5 contacts a day keeps leads coming my way. Okay, so for me, that works. 5 contacts a day keeps leads coming my way. And to me, that means new people I'm talking to, follow-ups. I try to do reaching out to people and follow-ups, but you have got to constantly being bold and reaching outside your comfort zone. We've all been doing this for a while now. Like, I'm not seeing anybody on this group that's like brand new. And so most of your people might know, I mean, keep posting on Facebook, keep telling them that you're doing Plexus, but you've got to be reaching out to new people. And that is, you know, you can do so much on Facebook. We are all involved in different things. For me, there's like this fabulous moms group that has like thousands of women in Beaumont. So I am constantly making friends. She's one of the ones I just signed this month, was from this moms group. I'm constantly making new friends in the horse world that suddenly I think I'm like this horse person. So I'm like, I'm making these friends in this horse world of mine. But think about what you're interested in. For me, it's this moms group. It's this new horse and 4-H group. It's ADHD groups with moms. So think about what's are you passionate about, and find those groups on Facebook. Even if you don't want to talk to anybody in person, you can find those groups on Facebook, and you can just start friending people. Every time they comment on that group, you friend them, you friend them, you friend them, and they're going to start seeing your posts, and you're going to engage in their Facebook. To keep this active list going of these people, and don't forget about them. When you friend them, write them down so you can know, hey, strike up a conversation with them. So it's really all about action. It's really all about your personal IPA, and everybody has a little bit different. Maybe you're reaching out 3 new and you're following up with 2. Maybe you're reaching out to 5, following up. If you are reaching out every day and you're following up either every day or once a week, whatever is best for you, you are going to have activity. I am the biggest excuse maker. Like, I'll be like, well, you know, this and this and this. But the truth is, when I'm doing that, I have activity. I have potentials. I have a stack of potentials that if I follow up with them, they are eventually going to order. Like, they will eventually come around. And so we are really the only ones keeping us in the slump. Like, we are really the only ones. And our activity, that if our teams are struggling, we can only look to ourselves, to our CEO, Amber Hargett, all of you. You are the CEO. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. I am super excited that you came, because I just love these. I love seeing my golds and aboves faces. Anything else for you, Erin and Stephanie?
I think you killed it, Erin.
Yeah, it was amazing, Amber.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
stop recording.